Hey everyone, this is not a normal update to my Warpath Gaming Bot, but in this video what I'll be doing is to show you how to set up your system to run the Warpath Gaming Bot. Now included in this version, however, is the ability to run the bot for multiple Warpath accounts, and I'll show you how to do that. So before I show you how to set up the bot and your system for the bot, let me show you the program that I used to create the bot. I know that there are some people that would be concerned about how this exe file is created. What's the security behind it? Does it have viruses or any malware attached to it? I can assure you that that's not the case. Literally, the bot is created within a program called Automation Console. It's literally just a bunch of functions and high-level code to instruct the mouse to move to certain objects, to visualize certain objects, etc., etc. So it's just code, as you can see here, and actually there's no ability to put ominous code like low-level code like C# or Java, etc. Into this. There's just not that capability. So let me just close that down. All I really do is to create the bot is I generate an exe file. So it's this piece of software's own functionality to generate the exe file. You press on that generate exe file, you give it some information. In this case, I'm just changing it to version 9. There's some error handling options, and then other miscellaneous options which you could read if you pause the video. All I do then all I do then is press the compile button, and it generates an exe file for us to run. It's as simple as that. So what I'll do is I will run this bot. So double clicking on the bot, what will happen is that it will open the bot. In this case, in my system's case, what it does is because it's running an executable file for the first time, it's my Avast antivirus checker is actually checking it. What it's actually done is it's closed the exe file, checked it, and then reopened it, as you saw a few seconds ago. So in this case, Avast says, good news, the file looks safe. What I'll do in another video is just to run it through some online virus checkers and malware detection software, just for ease of mind, that you can use it confidently, knowing that there's no virus or malware attached to it. So we start with the only screen of input that you need to provide for the bot to run correctly. If you are struggling to set up your system to run the bot, I suggest that you click on this YouTube video link. It will bring you to this video. What you need to do next is you need to instruct the bot on what functionalities, what bots to run. So there's a search map, which I've searched a map in under 24 hours, a level 3 map in under 24 hours, using the search map functionality. Auto battle for materials, so if you want a battle raven to actually generate, to gain materials from the raven. Resource collection, so if you send out your convoys to collect resources. Alliance aid and research, factory production, collect VIP crates and mission rewards. So I've generated videos on each one of these bots in a lot more detail. So if you want to understand what these bots do before you tick and run it, go to the video, have a look, see if it's what you wanted to do, and select or deselect whatever you wanted to do. Next, what you're going to have to do is to ensure that the Nox player emulators are running correctly for the bot to work correctly. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'll open up the Nox player multi-instance manager. So as you can see in my Warpath Gaming Bot instructions, if I just scroll down, the first thing you need to do is to ensure that all Nox emulators are set to S10 phone models. So if I run one of the emulators, I will show you what I mean by this. So one of the emulators is open. If you go to the settings window and choose phone model, you will see that I have selected the Samsung Galaxy S10. What this does is to ensure that the emulator window is in a certain place on the screen and a certain size of the screen for the bot to actually see the correct sized icons when it's running through the bots. The second thing that you'll have to do is to ensure that the emulator names have no spaces. So if I go back to the Nox Multi-Instance Manager, you will see that in my top 6 emulators, I have no spaces in the names of the emulators. The third thing that you'll need to ensure is to close all the Nox windows before you proceed or continue from this bot window. And you'll also have to move any Warpath advert icon to another Android screen. What I mean by that is that when you install Warpath on one of the Nox Player emulators, after playing it a few times, what Nox Player does is it creates a Warpath advert icon. Now I don't know why that happens, because it should surely see that you already have the app installed. But what happens is when the bot is running through the coding, it needs to look for the icon to load the app, and it gets confused between the two different icons. So what I suggest you do is to take the advert icon, which is the red lining, and simply just move it to the next screen. You can't delete the advert. Nox Player prevents you from doing that. So now the default screen has the Warpath app icon, and it doesn't have the app icon to get confused with. And then you need to ensure that the emulator backup reminder is turned off. So often when you open up the emulator, when you play it from the multi-instance manager, if I press play on a new emulator that I've created, what it does when the screen is loaded is that it will ask you, do you want to back up this emulator? And I would switch off the reminder, simply because what will happen is that when the bot is running, it's not going to recognize that screen, and it's going to fall over, it's going to error out. So switch that off. The next thing that you'll need to do is to give instruction to the bot of how many accounts you want the Warpath Gaming Bot to run through. So the maximum number of accounts is 6 accounts, and the reason for this is because there's space for 6 emulators in one of the multi-instance manager screens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So ensure that the emulators that you want to run that have the Warpath account on it is in the first 6 emulators in this screen. Obviously, if you only have 1 or 2, you need to ensure that those 2 are in the top 2, and then with 3 and 4, etc., etc. The next thing you'll have to do is to instruct the bot of how many times you want to run these above bots every time for each account. So what will happen is that when it opens the first account, it will run through the bot 15 times. In this case, it will run through the bot 15 times before it moves on to the second account. Again, then it will run through the account another 15 through the loop, another 15 times, and then move on to the third account, and however many accounts that you have stipulated, up to 6 accounts. Now, if you only have 1 account, obviously the loop will be infinite. The bot calculates that you've only have 1 account, and it will just run the loop for these bots above infinitely until you stop it or until it errors out for whatever reason there may be. The next thing that you have to do then to instruct the bot to of where the Nox player's multiplayer manager file is. So it's the file that you need to run to open up this multi-instance manager window. So all you have to do is to identify where this multi-instance manager is. Then you need to follow that link to the folder. The default link for most computers is going to be your default drive, program files. In my case, it's the x86 program files, Nox folder, bin, and then when you look for it, you'll see that here is the multiplayer manager. Select that file, press open. What it will do is it will populate the file path, and when you run the bot the second time onwards, it will have this as the default. It will have your exact path as the default, and not have to always find the location of that file. And that goes for the same for all the settings that you provide. You only have to do this as a once-off, and thereafter what it will do is it will remember your settings and use those settings for the future until you change it again. The next thing that you'll need to do is to ensure that the Warpath settings are set to low frame rate quality and low image quality. And the reason for this is because I've set up the bot to be able to use on most PCs. So if you're running a low-end PC, obviously you want to run the image quality and the frame rate quality as low as possible to get as best performance out of it. So I've left it low for that reason. Okay, so as I've instructed, we need to close all the Nox player windows to continue with the bot. So I'll go ahead and I will do that. The last thing we need to do before we run the bot is to open up a YouTube window in your browser. All you have to do is click on the link provided. What you then do is push the window as far right as possible with the full height of the screen. So what the link, where the link is directing to, is to my Warpath Gaming Bot channel, and it's directed to the playlist. So what I would ask you to do is to first open the Gaming Bot YouTube channel, as I've done here. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the loop button, this loop button here, so that it loops through all the videos and continues to do that. If you don't press the loop button, what will happen is that while the bot is running, eventually the videos for the channel will end and it will move on to another video. The bot will detect that and it will stop running when it sees that it's not running one of my videos. Then move your browser to the right of the screen, as I've said, and then we press continue. So just quickly, why I've done this is effectively it's the payment for using the bot. Right, so everyone in the YouTube world wants likes, wants subscriptions, and wants videos to be watched. So effectively, that's the payment that I'm asking for the use of this bot. And if if you're not happy with that, then obviously you don't have to use the bot. If you're happy to do that, then just go follow the instructions, and everything will work according to plan. So what the bot will do after every loop, what it will do is it will look for the video in the top right hand side of the screen. What it will right click on the video and copy the debug information, right? Exactly that. What I've done here, it will do. And what that will tell my bot is, have you subscribed? is it one of my videos that's running, and are you in the playlist with the loop selected? And if it finds that to be true, it will simply just move through to the next loop and continue as long as all those criteria are met at the end of every loop. So what we'll do now is we'll press continue. I will want to run through 3 accounts, and for ease of speed, I'm just going to run it 1 loop through each account, and I'm not going to select any of the bots, because effectively you can go and see the bots running in my previous videos. That's already covered. What I'm trying to cover here is how to set up the bot for working on your PC. And the best way I can do that is to show you a few accounts and running 1 loop so that it can cycle through the accounts as quick as possible for this video. So let me continue. So if you are running Avast or another virus protection software, what will happen at this stage is that it will say we've just protected your file. Now what the bot does is that it creates a Warpath Gaming Bot CSV file, and all the instructions or the settings that you've just given now is saved in the CSV file for further use in the future. So you don't want to input all of those settings every single time that you run the bot. So the first time that you run it, it will save this file and it will reuse these settings from the file in the future, so you don't have to constantly do the changes. However, because this unknown executable file is now creating another file of itself, many antivirus software programs will detect this and block the possibility. So all you need to do in this case is you need to allow the Gaming Bot Warpath exe file, which is what you're running now, to create this CSV file. So in my case, all I do is I say allow the app to do that, and I need to then run the bot again, and it will know that next time it's trying to create the file, it can run it safely. So double clicking on the file again, I'm going to deselect all the bots. I want 3 accounts and I want to run 1 loop. I know that this is the file path. I'm going to select my playlist URL link, make sure that I have the loop running, and continue. So that's how quick it can be to set up the bot. As you can see now, what it's doing is it's actually finding the information that it needs to run the first account. So it's opened up the emulator. So it finds the icon for the app, it presses on it, and it immediately goes to the Samsung S10 window style. It moves the window to the location that the bot is looking at while it waits for the app and the account to open up. So I'm going to pause the bot here. What has happened here is that the bot will have gone through all the bots that you instructed it to in the first loop. Once the loop is complete, after every loop, it will give you the ability to pause the bot, as I did here, or the bot will simply just pause for 5 seconds before it then cycles through the next loop, or however many loops that you've instructed it to. But after each loop, it will give you the options and the 5-second pause to pause the loop. Now, I've given this ability so that if you do want to make any changes, you do want to select something, or you want to do something to your base, or whatever the case may be, I've given you the option to be able to play around with that and then start the bot again. just ensure that when you do start the bot again and press OK, you have gone back to your base screen and you've centered it so that it starts from a fresh centered base screen. The other thing that it does is after the loop has finished and before it gives you the option to pause the bot, you saw that what it did was it right selected the video and pressed on the copy debug info information. So ensure that what my channel and one of the videos in my channel is running in the top right hand corner, so that when it does right click on the video, it finds the copy debug info information. What it will do is it will look for 3 metadata points within the video. The one is, have you subscribed to my channel? If you have, it passes that verification. Then it will look to see if you are running one of my videos. And if this is one of my videos, it will pass the verification. And then the third one is to ensure that the video is playing. And if those 3 things are happening in this video, it will pass it and it will then go to the pause option. So what I'm going to do now is, assuming that I've made some changes to my base, I'm going to restart the bot by pressing OK after I've ensured that I've centered on the base by pressing my home base icon, and then I resume. What it does then is it closes the account in this instance, because I've only asked it to run one loop of the bot, so that I can showcase how it cycles through the accounts. Obviously, if you've instructed it to do 15 loops, it will then go through the 15 loops before closing the account and opening up your second account. So what it's done here is it's opening up the second account, and it will go through that whole process again and loop through each account however many times you have instructed it to loop through. So as you can see, it's looped back to the first account, and it will continue looping through each account up to 6 accounts, maximum of 6 accounts, and it will loop through as many loops of the bot as you've instructed it to in the bot settings window before launching the bot. So I hope you enjoy this addition. I think it will be one of the better additions that I've provided to the bot. What I'll do in my next step is to add looping through roles within each account, but I will spend a bit of time doing that in the future. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please download, use as much as you would like. Okay, thank you and bye.